That cough is pretty good. What's going on, guys? You know who it is. It's your boy, Big Tank. Hank, coming at you with another pre-recorded live stream. I have to say that so y'all don't, when y'all pop up in the chat later on and you're asking questions, we're not ignoring you. I have 4 weeks of pre-record and 4 weeks where we're actually at house. And I made, can you see the little sticker up there that says pre-recorded? I'm going to see if that works also. But I digress, because tonight we have a very, very, very interesting individual. His life and my life run a little parallel. You know, we've done some of the same things in life, except we don't experience the same weather. Tonight we got Stubbs Aquatics. That backyard, people, that backyard, you need to check out his channel. Them ponds, they're going down, and he built them himself. But let me bring him on up. Let him tell you about it himself. What's happening, man?
Not much. Good to meet you, Big Tank Hank. Hey,
Man.
I put my guns out here, but I'll look awful embarrassing. And being that you're pre-recorded, can you make me look prettier?
Hey,
Work your magic.
Go into the magic box and see what I can do.
Well, you're gonna have to go to an awful big magic shop. Make it pretty.
Man, how you feeling, man? How you feeling?
Good, good. You ever have one of those days where, you know what, you should have never started a project because everything goes bad?
Yeah.
That was me today.
Often, actually.
Well, I'm redoing the main fish room. So me and electricity don't get along well to begin with, and being around water, great. So I'm cutting all this excess black tubing for air tubing, right? So I'm grabbing it, and I've got a nice sharp knife, and I'm wink, 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 grab the next one. Right through a whole new heater system. Zap, boom. Brand new. I looked down and I said, "Are you kidding me?" Well, I'm calling her quits for today. Because things just didn't work out. Brand new, right out of the box.
Oh, man. So, did it fry, or did you was it a breaker?
Oh, no, it fried.
Oh,
right.
Man.
Plus, I cut it in half.
Yeah.
And it's, a whole power box on it and the whole unit. It's only a 500 watt outfit.
Yeah, I've had those days. The reason I asked that, I had a heater, big heater for 100 and some odd watts. It's chilling. Unplugged, let the temperature come down, or at least I thought I unplugged it. Let the temperature come down so I can move it. I had moved a few before that. I get to this heater and I reach in the water to pull it out. Come just a little bit too high out of the water, thinking it's unplugged though. Pop! It's like, oh, man.
Oh yeah.
Right here in my hand, I'm like.
Yeah. Me and heaters don't get along. That's why I generally heat the room, not the tank.
Gotcha.
And I try to keep all basically cool water species, whether it's cypridae, barbs, goldfish, koi, something I really don't have to heat the water that much because all my tanks are in the basement, right? So it'd be lucky if the water temperature in the tanks was 65, 66. So some of the small tropic room, I'll heat the room up to 72, 74 because it's just a tiny little room and I can keep my fish relatively happy that way. But at least, I can't keep, all the species I'd like to be able to keep just simply because I can't control the temperatures.
Yep.
And, this was my first real big heater and I went and chopped it in half. That's how my day's going, pal.
Man.
But it's better now.
Because
you and I are laughing and having a good old time.
You needed one of them naps that I had, right before we came home.
Oh, I wish I could nap.
Oh, man.
Someone's got to teach me how. I used to be a good sleeper, but through shift work and all the crap in life, developed insomnia and anxiety, and sleep is not my friend.
Uh, I kind of, I off and on because I am a shift worker. Napping wasn't. My wife naps all the time. My kids used to nap. I say used to nap. They're
Yeah.
young adults right now. Napping.
You
What
mean they
is that?
sleep till 2
But
o'clock? Get up.
But yeah, I just had some health issues, health scares, and I'm taking in more water, this, that, and the other, doing these tests. They changed some of my medication. Now, if I feel tired, and it's always maybe around 2 or 3 o'clock in the evening, if I'm at home, if I feel it, man, I'm laying down. There's not a second thought, there's not a second anything. Well, once upon a time, it was like, well, I can be in the fish room moving this, so I can be over here doing that, or I need to go do so and so. I think I can squeeze a recording in here, or maybe I can. No, now if I feel it,
Well, you get to my age, because I'm older than you. You never pass by a bathroom because you never know. And if you get a chance to nap, go for it. You don't fight and cry like you did as a kid. I don't want to go to sleep. I want to go to sleep.
Oh, I have a 5-month-old grandbaby, and when she's sleepy, we can see it. Oh, you would swear you were trying to kill her.
Oh, I know. I have 2 young grandkids. Yeah.
I'm like, baby, it's okay. You're gonna wake back up. I'm
gonna miss something. I know it.
She's like, no, I don't. No.
You're like a slinky.
What are you guys trying to do to me? It's not us. Go to sleep. Oh man, that's crazy. But hey, man, give the people a slight introduction. Who you are, from a little you to a big you. How you came into the hobby. If there's any people that were integral in you actually getting started, and then we're gonna go as in the adult era of your life, and we just gonna shoot forward.
Well, my name is Chris Stubbings. I go by Stubb because of my last name, really, honest. Been in the fish hobby for 50 years. My uncle got me into it when I was just a kid, and I've been keeping fish ever since. I think I built my first pond when I was about 12. Dug that out and did it out of concrete. That was a mistake. There was no liners back then, and it was really hard to find pumps. Pretty much had to use like a sump pump back then. So yeah, it wasn't easy, but I've kept to it. And you know what? I think the pond, between the ponds and the fish tanks, is probably saved me. Just from stress of work. You and I spoke about stresses of our jobs and that we had similar jobs. And, I have no qualms about saying I was a police officer for 30 years. So people deal with it. There's good cops out there and there's bad cops, just like any other profession out there. If you can find me one where there's not a jerk in that group, let me know and I'll go over and I'll be that jerk. Because, cops are human, and some are good, some aren't. So that's my story. I'm married. I've been married to the same lovely woman for going on 35 years now, which is rare in this industry field.
I'm at 25.
Attaboy. Nice. I've got 2 kids. One lives way out west, and one lives at a military base about 3 hours away. So
okay, good
you
deal,
know my
man.
story, basically.
Hey, good deal. We get a little insight, just a little insight. I'm gonna try to edit those videos in. There may be a way, man. I'm gonna try to figure it out because I really love your pond. I love what you got going on over there.
Well, thanks.
Um,
Been building those for 25 to 30 years, a little bit at a time. Once I finish one, I go on to the next one and next one, and build the decking around it, or the bunkie, and it's a great spot for a nap. And a great spot to take the grandkids, and we like to be outside as much as we can in the summers. Our winters are pretty harsh. It was pretty cold this winter. It was down to minus 30s and minus 40s for a week at a time, which was not a lot of fun. And trying to keep the ice holes open during that winter, it was really tough this year. But all the koi survived, and they stay outside all winter. So,
gotcha. Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not even gonna lie. If I built some ponds in my backyard, it's gonna really look like I built those ponds back there. Like, I mean, there'll be ponds, there'll be holding fish, but I mean, the attention to detail, man, I've always admired it, and you have that. I don't even know what would motivate me. I would need somebody really on me. Hey, come on, man, come on, right here. You can see this liner right here. Why don't we put something right there? Hey, right there, man, that pump. The way that pump is sticking out right there. Come on.
I told you that I suffer from anxiety and insomnia, right? So I'd be up all night, couldn't sleep. So I'd grab a piece of paper and start sketching what I wanted to build. And I didn't build it right away. It took me time. And, you're seeing what it looks like after 25 years. The first few years, it probably wasn't real pretty.
Okay. I feel better. I feel better now. Okay.
It's like, your first tank was probably a tote, and, but it was yours, and something that you could see and build with. And okay, the next level is this. I can do that. And, we each got to take our own step, and I'm not rich. So a bit at a time. And if I could work a deal with someone for, I could go help them dig or shovel and trade off, and you help me. That's how I get things done. It's just, and the professions you and I are in, it's not like you're swimming in money.
And yes, I definitely know.
Every dollar you got, and, it doesn't go a long way. So, you have to find a reason or a way to keep things going. And I think you and I have. Now, we're not flying off somewhere every 2 weeks or anything, but.
Yeah, right. Now, something right there, I see a learning moment, a teaching moment. Something happened right there that we as people do all the time, and we never think about it. And it has, in some people's lives, this caused them to lose relationships. This caused them to prejudge, misjudge. Now, our scenario wasn't bad. I mean, just in the sense of me seeing your ponds now, and my brain just automatically jumped forward to, man, those ponds really look good right now. Losing sight of what did it take to get to being able to make your ponds look like they look now. The blood, sweat, and the tears, the hours, the sketches, we lose sight of what somebody else's life is outside of the picture we're looking at present. You have some people out there that are just like, let's say they're jealous-hearted people, and man, that guy, he has this, he has that, I don't understand it. I do the same. No, maybe you don't do the same thing. Maybe you didn't do the same thing. Maybe that guy threw away 30 years of his life, not threw away as in unproductively, but threw away in the sense of he wasn't able to do some of the frivolous things that we were able to do because he was putting in the time. He was studying. He was getting the experience. You see the fruits of his labor, and we want to just throw away, discount the work he put in to get there.
That's exactly right. It's like anything. If it's half decent, it's worth really pushing for it and doing it right. But it didn't come overnight and didn't come easy. And someone that just tunes into my channel and go, hey, like you said, how come this guy's got this? Well, I didn't have any toys. I didn't have any snowmobiles, or I don't have a fancy car. I don't have a summer home or a winter home, or I don't have, all the toys in life. We're a 1-car family now that I'm retired. So, you save your money where you can.
Yep.
And right now with gas prices, can't afford to go anywhere anyways. Like, I don't know how it is with you guys. You're probably paying what, $5 a gallon?
Man, well, in some places here, I'm blessed. I'm blessed now to be in Houston, and it's just under $5 at this point. It's heading that way. It's getting real close, but we're still under $5 a gallon.
Ours is about $8.50 to $9 a gallon. Like, we're over $2 a liter. So it's not pretty. And I wouldn't want, I used to have a F-150. There's no way I could afford to put gas in that thing now. Watch the needle go.
Yeah.
No.
Years, let me see, was it 2009 when the economy was tanking? The most recent one, and I was working at a dealership. I was in the department where you received every vehicle in off of the transports.
Yep.
And, truck drivers would come in, I'd have these conversations, like I told you how I do. I have these conversations with these truck drivers, man, and right there at the end, before the dealership I worked at closed down, 2009, shipping and all this stuff was folding. I'd have guys come in, they're like, man, I live 500 miles from here. I don't know if I'm going to have another run back, and they have 2 tanks, 500-gallon tanks. He would need 1 whole tank to get him home. The amount that he would have got paid for the transport there would just be gas to get him home if he couldn't find another load there to go back home. I saw, there's a lot of guys was like, man, when I get home, I'm sitting the truck down. And those guys probably still aren't driving trucks. Now, we're in the same boat, but not really. It's worse now for some reason. Those same guys, you talking about $8, $9 a gallon, and he needs all 500 gallons in this truck. They're not paying you more for the transport. So how did he get home? I mean, like, hey, wife, when I call you, I'm gonna probably be 100 miles out, and I'm just gonna pull it over on the side of the road, and we're gonna leave it there until I can get it. And if that never happens, it just never happens. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know where everything's going, but I mean, you just got to keep pushing forward, right?
Got to keep pushing forward because we can.
Yep.
And I had my little health scale. A lot of people over here know what happened to me. I had what was akin to a mini stroke. What do they call it? Transient ischemic attack. But I've taken echocardiograms, I've taken MRIs, I'm taking an MRA tomorrow, went to the cardiologist. I've had all these different tests. For the doctor to say after I take the next couple of tests, I'm gonna have to take sleep study, all these different things. He's saying, but it's heading towards anxiety. Heart's looking good, all these things are looking good. He's saying, looks like anxiety. So he prescribed me this low grade pill for anxiety that I've been taking now maybe 2 days. He's saying he thinks it's anxiety. Basically, I had a panic attack. Never had one, before in my life, and it happened at work. We talk about our job. I was in a scenario that wasn't really outside of what I had seen before. In the line of work that we're in, a lot of times you're in one place where everybody there is supposed to have the same mindset. We're going the same direction, but you can have a scenario going 3 different ways.
See,
in that one place, because it's like, hey, okay, dude, I'm supposed to get these guys and put them over. You're not going to do that right now. because this is going on. Protocol states, and now you're like, okay, what the lieutenant said. Mind you, I'm kind of telling the story that I went through. The lieutenant said I need to, and then my brain was just like,
Yep.
Next thing I know, I'm in a wheelchair and my face is over to the side, and
Yep.
yeah, yeah, it was almost, almost short circuit and fried down. But I thank the good Lord. He was like, hey, you're not through. You got some more things to do. Stubbs is coming on, for God's sake. You got some more. You got some more things to do, but this is to tug your coat. There's some things you need to pay attention to right now.
I'm just gonna straighten this up a bit. That's all right.
No, you're good. You're good.
Get my pretty face down there and a little bit better.
Yeah, no, you're good. And who knows? One of those things might be you might not need to be working in this line of work anymore. I need to toss all that over in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I can tell you with mine, I was at work too. I had just been working on shooting for, this is about the fourth day. And then my heart started pounding and pounding and pounding. I went, what gives? And, I ended up going to the hospital, and because they thought I was having a heart attack, the sweats, the whole shooting match. And this went on for a long, long time. And it kept coming. And then they prescribed me meds and more meds, and then more meds. And then finally I've been on the same type of medication for 15 years now to control anxiety. So it doesn't lead into depression. And, or it adds to my insomnia. I have no problem talking about mental health. I'm not ashamed of it. Would you be ashamed of saying, you have diabetes? No. I had something here and mental health issues. I went and sought help. I'm still dealing with it, but things are good. And I keep pushing forward, and I'm still here.
What we need to do is to take that cloak off that says we have to be embarrassed, that says we're different than somebody else, that says we're lesser, because we're not. We call this the fish fam.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all, I stressed the word fam on purpose. We're the fish fam, short for family.
Oh.
Every integral piece is important. And if I can tell you about something that I went through that could possibly help you not run into that at all, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And I found that this group is real good at, you got some wayward souls like anywhere, but this group has been real good at rallying around each other,
Yeah, I found that.
In a less selfish manner, less selfish manner. But we've been really, really good at rallying around each other. And man, I'm always leaving the door open because I'm gonna talk about it, especially early on in my streaming. If it's real, it's gonna come up on here at some point in time.
Yeah,
then we'll trickle.
I mean, you gotta be real. And you gotta be truthful. And I told you in my last few years, I was a detective at a correctional facility where they actually had 3 detectives working out of this large facility, and you dealt with all the crimes that happened within the facility. So my last partner, when I left, we were pretty close. And then, you get away from policing, and I basically lost contact with him. But I guess he had been feeling, depressed and was too afraid to come forward. And he ended up taking his own life at the station. Beautiful wife, young daughter, and it was pretty traumatic, especially in a small town. So, yeah, not to go too far into this topic. Other than, if you're hurting, reach out. Let somebody know. Don't be ashamed of it. Reach out. Someone will be there to help you.
Most definitely. At the end of all my streams, I always say, tell somebody you love them.
Mm-hmm.
because somebody needs to hear it.
You got
I,
it.
I said at the end of every stream, tell somebody you love them. That's so important. Now, let's go to this hobby that we love so much, this hobby that has become so important in in our lives. What makes you shut down your fish room and put all your fish outside?
Well, I don't know about you, but when the weather's nice, I like to get outside. So do my fish. So I'll take my tropical fish in the middle of June, and I'll take them outside for a couple months. They'll get natural sunlight. They'll get lots of natural feed. Plus, I'll feed them, but they'll get all kinds of mosquito larvae and other aquatic insects. They'll be eating nonstop. They'll look like me after a buffet, and they'll color up beautifully. They breed like crazy, and I think they really like it. It's I think it's good for them because being cooped up in a tank for that's gotta. I know they don't think like we do, but
Yeah,
you know what? Real sunlight, real rain. It can't be much better.
yeah, and we're supposed to think.
That's what I do.
Yeah, we're supposed to think for them. You got me thinking about. I have this little toad on the side of my house with water in it right now. The toad is actually like helping reinforce my fence, but we're not gonna tell nobody that. We're gonna say that I have it out there collecting rainwater. But there's little mosquito larvae that come in it, and I've been thinking about it. I'm like, man, I could go out here and harvest me some mosquito larvae and bring it here to these guppies and these killifish, and then I'm afraid that all of the larvae won't get eaten.
And they'll be feeding on big tank Hank.
Yes, and now I got them in the house. So I've been trying to figure out how I'm gonna do that. But I guess if I do a small amount at a time, I guess not everybody in there is gonna be able to get some larvae. But the next go around, they might,
Or put some of your endlers or guppies out in that, and they'll grow like crazy. Like they'll be twice as big as you ever thought they'd be, and they'll have way more babies than you ever thought you'd see possible. Like I did some endlers last year. Also did some guppies. Did some barbs. No, they're all in different totes and tanks outside. And then I did swordtails. I mean, the size of the swordtails were outside were just phenomenal. So, it's interesting. It breaks up the mundane, oh, I got to do another water change. I got to do this. Well, I have to take some of the water out because it's been raining too much. So that's my water change.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. I'm glad you said that. I still got a few more days off from work taking these tests. I might have to get out there tomorrow and drop me some blue albino topaz that I have that I'm going to be providing to the fish. See, a little disclaimer right there.
If you could put a sponge filter out there with a bubbler going, that's all you need. And you've got enough water plants that I can see. You got duckweed behind you. Throw a cup full.
Oh man, hornwort, duckweed. I got it up in here.
Yeah, you got all the stuff you need to have a tote going, and you have a great colony.
Guppy grass. I got everything.
Oh, you got it all.
I got 50 gallons worth of water right down here next to my feet on this side over here. In my little bitty 8x8 room. The room is 8x8, but right now it's really like two by 8 where I'm sitting. Because I got fish, I got air all around me, man. And I tell people, I say, hey, you see right there, you can see the tank behind me, you see the stand. Oh man, to the left and to the right, I have this little groove that I'm sitting in.
Well, I swear in my little micro fish room here, where I've got my tropicals, if I gain 5 or 10 more pounds, I'm not going to fit in there. Because it's only a few feet wide.
Yeah, I'm going to have to rethink the intro, the big. See how I have to do it now? Change. I used to could get them both in the screen. Yeah, now that's a little bit.
The camera shrunk, that's all.
That's what it was. I knew it was something, and I couldn't figure it out, man. Couldn't put my finger on it.
My wife shrunk my clothes again.
Oh, man. Hey, what are all the fish that you have under your care right now?
What all? Okay, I've got in the main ponds are all my koi. And then my smaller ponds, I've got shabumpkin goldfish. And then I've got a pond over at my mom's that I dug for her to have something. I've got most of my brood stock of shabumpkins there because I breed them and sell them. Then behind me here, I've got some checkerboard barb. They're just young fry. There's got to be 50, 60 of those. And then in the next tank over, I've got that full of Odessa barbs. And then behind that, I've got rosy barbs, gold barbs, and some more Odessas. Hoping within the next couple weeks to pick up some filament barbs or some Aurelius barbs. Yeah, I've got an issue with barbs.
Yeah,
I can admit it.
I'm sitting there tripping because you very seldom see barb breeding. Like, it's not even discussed. Like, most people, everybody's buying the barbs at the store. And for me to hear that you actually have barb breeding, I mean, that's a whole nother world for me right here. Just listen to this, man. And it's cool.
Well, most of that happens for me outside, right? I'll put some breeding material, as in you've got all the stuff there, and let Mother Nature take over. Because with certain temperatures climbing, so you're going to hit the water temperature, the mid 80s, no problem where you are. And then you're going to get some, Texas big ass storm, and it's going to come in. It's going to dump a whole bunch of rain out of nowhere. It's going to change the water temperature and cause them to breed right then and there. And that's with Cypridae, like goldfish, koi, barbs. They're all from the same family. That's all they need is a certain amount of sunlight, as in sunlight hours, and then the water temperature change. So you could do that no problem.
And I didn't know that barbs was in the same family.
Yeah, they're in the same gene pool or genus as same with white cloud mountain minnows or any minnow. They're all in that same family.
Ah, okay. Y'all forgive me. I'm doing a little fish husbandry as I sit here. It's kind of hard not to.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Hey, right. Do you have like an online place that you sell your fish? Do you go to the LFS? How do you do that?
Most of my shabumpkins will either go to a large facility about an hour and a half away from here, and then the rest go to the local fish store. So I have no problem getting rid of every single one I get. I'll keep 5 or 6 for future brood stock, but everything else, I move on. Now I don't have thousands and thousands. I'll be lucky some years I only get 100 or 200 that I'll grow up and then move them along. It's just something for me to do over the winter and keep my interest. And same with koi. I can do that with koi as well. And the barbs, I don't get massive spawns because I'm not out there pulling them out. So if I get 25, 30 babies to make it, I'm happy. I'll keep 5 or 6 and then do a deal at the local fish store and, get some more food. I mean, if you can cover some of your costs through breeding, why not?
Right.
A good local fish store that you can deal with, or just people in a club or group or whatever, right? I mean, we're not in this to make huge bucks because there ain't, unless you've got a couple of million subscribers, you're not making any bucks. You're in this to meet people of like-minded that are in the hobby that you can, shoot the shit with, pardon the language, reach out for help and not be scrutinized because you're asking for help. Yeah. That's why we're here, right?
Most definitely. Yeah, man. I mean, the process is always so um, so cool, for me to hear especially different people's avenues and directions to pretty much get to the same place. Because right, I'm getting back to it. Like early on, oh man, I had mixed mixed strain endlers and whatnot that all I would do is just take them to my local LFS, the place where I actually got them from. Yeah, get store credit, keep on moving. Every now and then a person will come along, hey man, I want some of those, I want some of those. Whereas now, like I have these guppies on guppies on guppies that I'm gonna get back into moving them around a little bit, but simply for hey, if they feed themselves.
Well, I actually just moved 3 tanks of endlers on just the other day to the local fish store. Traded everything, all my endlers that I had been selling to that store and to a couple of other spots. Traded them all in for a bunch of plants to rescape a couple tanks. I mean, they didn't owe me anything. I bought a few of each a year and a half ago, and they've been breeding like crazy and lots of good quality fry. And I've been moving them along and making trades. And now I just want to strictly stick with barbs for the most part, and bumpkins, and the koi stay out all year. So that's all I'm going to have. Until something else pushes me to a different direction, and because you get bored of keeping the same type of fish over and over, right?
Yeah, I can agree with it.
I mean,
some people know.
Oh yeah, there's some
people know, but yeah, I can identify with that. I really can, because I have some of my buddies call me. Hey Hank, I'm doing so. Do you have some? No, man. What you mean you don't have? I moved them along, man. I have this now, man. You don't stick. Yes, I feel you. I take care of them well when I have them. I have a wonderful LFS that'll take anything. My LFS will take convicts. So I mean, he's not ever tripping when I show up. Hey, I have a black coffee cupolopolis barbatankerus. Can you? Yeah, let me get it. So I'm not gonna be mad. I can stay. My hobby can stay fresh. It's all right. It is all right. That's cool though.
That's all you want, right?
Yeah, most definitely. So, in the ponds, do you just have koi in your ponds?
Okay, in the main ponds that I showed you, they're all connected, and they all have strictly koi in them. That could change, but the other stuff, nice antlers, by the way. I guess I don't want koi and goldfish crossbreeding, so I don't keep them in the same. Just like you've got a good line of endlers there, you wouldn't introduce some mutt guppy to it, right? So that's what I try, anyways. Who knows? Like I just got back into koi in the last few years. I used to have some massive koi, but we had a really cold winter, even by our standards, about 12 years ago. And I'd had them in there for a good 10 years, and they were pretty big, 20 inches. And the water got diverted that year because it just got so cold, and it backed up and it went out under the snow and the ice. So I didn't know the water got diverted, and the ice held up, and there was a gap of about 2.5 feet of just air. So that super chilled air was there, and then another layer of ice, and then only, a foot and a half of actual water for these poor koi to live in. So unfortunately, they all died that one year. And that was pretty heartbreaking. So for the longest time, I didn't get back into koi. And now I only keep domestic koi, no fancy Japanese. They're just, locally bred domestic koi that aren't going to send you back an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't buy fish anyways if it was over $40. I just don't have that kind of money. You know, some of these people with koi are spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per fish.
Ooh-wee.
And,
Yes, they do.
That's not my world.
Yes. Yes, they do. I've watched some auctions, man, on videos. And it's like,
Oh yeah,
like for real.
I want to go buy some barbs that are about $12 or $13 each, and I'm going, oh my god, where am I? I got to start saving, and I've been saving now to get these because I want to keep 8 or 10 of them. But you go, holy crap, that's $130 for 10 fish. Like, okay, so better make sure they have a good tank to live in, and you've looked after it, because that's a big investment. Or at least it is on my end.
Yep. Yep.
No, I don't have money to throw away. So
I feel you. Back in my better fish days, I spent a little money on breeder male betters. I did that.
Yep.
And after I stopped with them, I don't think there was nothing else that I could see in a fish store that I wanted that cost over a sad amount of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, back in those days, a couple of years ago, yeah, I spent a little bit of money on a better fish.
Well, I mean, you look back on your younger days where, you might have misbehaved a little bit more, and you went, okay, I went out with the fellows and I spent this so much on entertainment or whatever. Well, those days are long gone, and I go, geez, if I ever had that money back now, I could buy those fish. I could have a bigger pond.
Can you now? You made me sit and think of. I would go crazy now. I can remember getting my check, cash it, go out Friday night, come in with just change in my pocket, like the change that I made throughout the night. I just got the change in my pocket, and like wouldn't even think twice. Like, yes, I would like to still have it at that point, but it was like, oh man, woo, man, we really enjoyed ourselves. Well, yeah. Like and
now, tell me what we did.
Now I'm like, oh man, that costs what? Hold on. Okay, let me get one. I'm not gonna get one. I'm gonna let
Exactly.
Back then, I was trying to get everybody one. How many let me get 35, 5 extra, because somebody's gonna come along later on. That was then.
Yeah.
Now, no. Let me get one.
Yeah.
I'll taste hers.
Can we get you get a half order, please?
Woo, man, yeah. The youthful exuberance, and it's all right, man. It's all right. I haven't seen a tree I want to climb now, but I can remember jumping out of it. I mean,
yeah,
perfectly good tree. Man. Oh, that's all right. Yeah, that's all right. What fish, if any, that you have that you're like, hey, that might not be a barb, but I mean, if it's a barb, it's okay. That you will, now you're like, man, I really, man, at some point in time would like to have this fish. Well, I guess you kind of answered that question, but I mean, like, is there any other fish that's, man, if I ever had the chance to get this fish?
I don't know. I mean, I've been in the hobby so long, right? So, I had Oscars, I had African cichlids. I'm just into a barb phase right now, so like I really want the filament or mascara barb. They're really cool fish. They're really fast. They got a really good body shape to them. The fins on them are just unbelievable.
Are those the like yellow with the red stripe and the black stripe?
No.
Are those the ones on LR? Used to be behind LR Brett's in the tank with the black. They're like a silvery color.
Yeah, under here and then by the caudal fin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I know what it is now.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And they're fast. You know, they're kind of built like a tuna.
Yeah.
They move. But
Pretty cool.
something different, right?
Yeah.
How about
But
you?
here, I don't see them in like no. They're not even in LFSs here. Like, I don't know if you'd have to order them or something. I don't know. There are
I've
no
been
selling
looking
them.
for 2 years. I finally found some, so I'm going for it.
Okay.
No, how about you?
Let me see. I guess this fish I actually was looking for and planning on at one point. I don't even think about it really now anymore. But being that you asked the question, I guess I'm still wanting that. It's a wild better. It's called an Antuta,
Yep.
Antuta. You know, look like a bulldog or something. A big old mouth. You know,
Yep.
mouth brooder. I love Antuta, man. I really, really, really do. And who knows? I may still pull the trigger. I've been in the YouTubes. I've met some people. I actually got a video that I put together for a guy in Indonesia. It's on my channel where he goes out and he catches wild betters himself, and I can get a pretty sweet deal. We talking about the shipping. I better do it before legislation change, but we talking about getting it shipped over and all of that for a pretty good deal. I just life has dictated otherwise.
Yeah. I just wish they were a longer lived species too. Like that is, if you're lucky to get 2 years out of them, you've done well.
Those big size wild ones, you can get your 5.
Yeah.
You can get 5 good years. Yeah, you can get 5 the splendens, the man-made for real deal splendens. Yeah. And that's because of the engineering, the stuff we done to them. I don't even know why I use the word engineering because it's not even really mechanical like that.
Genetic.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, they can be a little shaky.
Plus, when you walk in, to the store, you don't know how long it's been sitting in that bowl for how long. And that's not fair that they're living in a bowl.
Yeah, I've seen. Oh,
I mean, it's just sad, and it's all at room temperature, and they're not a room temperature fish.
Yeah, especially not in you talking about a store it has to be comfortable for every customer. So you looking at 60,
68, 70,
maybe 70, 68 degrees, 67 degrees. Yeah.
And that's not right for them. So no. I've had, kept betta before, and I usually get about 1.5 years out of them, and that'd be about it. And I'd always feel bad. And you start seeing them lying down a lot more and more and more, and you're going, well, is this something I did, or
No, and a lot of times it's the age too. You don't know how old it is, but
yeah, you don't.
It's a bad word to say Petco and PetSmart. But they've gotten to where they sell baby bettas now, like little bitty betta fish. So if you go there and get baby ones, you're looking at at some time. Get your salt in your water. Buy Catappa or Catapang, depending on who you're talking about. Leaves, or like me, I have a magnolia tree, so I use magnolia leaves. Does the same thing. Does the same thing. Yep.
I got a magnolia in my backyard. I should be picking leaves off that.
I'm gonna tell you something to look at. I'm not a scientist, but there's some things that you can look at over time and do association. You have some tree leaves that are extremely thick, very, very, very dark green. A very, very, very dark green leaf.
Yep.
Has a bold consistency in terms of the chemicals that's in it.
Right.
The lighter green, thinner the leaf, less. So if you're talking about a botanical that when it was alive, it was very thick, dark green. Once you dry it, you have a high concentration, of the chemicals or whatever that's actually being used in your waters as medication. The antifungal, antibacterial, I mean, it's all that. Well, antifungal for the most part, because You're gonna have your bacteria on it that's gonna break it down. But I mean, excellent, man. They work excellent. You don't have to go spend that
I'm
extra
gonna have
money.
to go pick some because they're the last usually to fall in our fall and winter, right? Because they don't really turn color. They just all of a sudden go down. They go.
Boil them up, man. You put your physical leaf in there, or I'll get jugs and make extract. Put it in the refrigerator. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
So
Free
when my
old charge.
wife goes and drinks the extract,
No.
yeah, I got this from Big Tank Hank. Blame him. Sorry, dear.
Herbal tea. You know what I'm saying?
Herbal tea. Yeah, but it cleaned out your intestines.
And it probably would, but I'm not gonna check it out.
Yeah. Here, honey, try this.
Oh man, well, we at the 50-minute mark, man. So if there's anything that you would like to say, some motivations, anything, the floor is open.
You know what? I really just want to say thank you to you to reaching out. I've caught many of your live stream. Sometimes lurking, sometimes commenting. I think you're just a great guy that is out there to support and help his fellow man, so to speak, out there. And I wish there was more people just like you. So, keep doing what you're doing. And I think this is, like you said, it's a great community. We're all, basically here for each other. Be open-minded. Don't prejudge people. And you know what? We're here to be entertained and have some fun. Don't be a stick in the mud.
Yeah, most definitely. And man, thank you, man. Thank you for your words, man. Because sometimes, you get. Well, I guess I can say you get stuck in a wheel. You know why you're doing it, but you don't seem to be getting nothing from outside of the wheel telling you that you're doing it.
Yeah.
And that happens. Yeah, I've been in that wheel every now and then, where it's like, man, does anybody know what it is I'm actually doing?
No, I mean, I feel like, through our talk that I've known you for years, we have real similar backgrounds. We got similar barbers.
Oh yeah. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. Right? Can't beat it. Gotcha. More than irony. Man.
I just want to say thanks again. It's been great. I've been enjoying doing YouTube. Like I told you in private, my kids really pushed me to get out there and be a little more socially active. So I started doing YouTube to basically interact with like-minded people that had, enjoyment with keeping fish, and not just with fish, but I do gardening, and there's lots of other things in life than just fish, as you well know. And it's just it's been interesting, and I've been enjoying it for the most part. And sure, I'd like my channel to grow a bit, but I guess that's just for that self-fulfilling that you hit a certain level, right? But I'm enjoying it, and that's about it.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for accepting. Because I don't take none of it for granted. When I ask somebody, hey, I don't mind, hey, I really love if you come on. I'm always kind of like, well, hey, it could go either way. It could be 50-50. Nothing has made me think they're gonna automatically accept. So when you do, man, it's a wonderful thing for me. And I always look forward to it. I always look forward to a new person, new conversation, outside of, because like I said again, in the back we spoke on me being a extroverted introvert. it's somewhat exciting. Be like, hey man, I'm meeting somebody else. You know,
Yep.
I get a chance to see how they live their life, what they doing in the hobby, what you like, what you don't like. Oh, guilty snack pleasure before we get out of here.
Oh man,
Ah,
pizza,
Ooh.
pizza, and followed by maybe some chicken wings.
There you go. There you go.
You?
Yeah, that tomato sauce right now on the pizza will beat me to death. But
I make it. We make all our pasta sauce here through all the vegetables and stuff we grow in the backyard and inside of the house. We make it all here. Salsas, pasta sauce.
Man, I've never had homemade pizza yet.
What? You don't know what you're missing. It's got real flavor.
Yeah, we might need to try that, man. I might make a pizza with some pesto on it or something.
Well, come on up here, brave the north, and we'll make you some.
If I come to Canada, I better move there. I mean, I'm just.
We'll invite you in.
Hey, because after we talk about the Texas weather and the cold, man, living in this Texas heat. Look, cold don't seem like it's that bad. I guess until you get there, you're in. Then you're like, okay,
Come in the summer.
Yeah, let me
Come in the summer. Don't come in the winter.
Let me rethink it, right? Oh, now my guilty pleasure. I'm a pastry dude. So I don't have one specific in there, but you can hit me with a turnover. You can hit me with a brownie. You can hit. I mean, you know, I'm all about those. I don't want no candy. Yeah, all right, thank you. That didn't do it. If I can't make a meal out of it, yeah, I may just.
You can't eat it with a fork. It's not good.
There you go. I don't. Yeah, don't play with me. If I'm gonna snack, I'm gonna snack. You know.
We're not talking about chocolate bar and chips here.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. All right, y'all. We're about to get up out of here. I want to thank you.
Thank
you for sitting in here with us and y'all checking us out, getting a little insight on Stubbs Aquatics. Please go share, go to his page, sub, like some videos, comment, tell somebody else about it. Check those ponds out. Beautiful, beautiful. Go check out my podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple, Anchor. I got it on Saturdays. I do a reptile stream, reptile, amphibian, the whole nine. Don't be a fish snob. Check out what those people got to offer over there also, because they come over here and they check out what we got going on also. Now, tell somebody you love them. Tell somebody you love them, because somebody needs to hear it. Take care of those fish. And we out. Peace.